Listen, we got to talk about USC. Lincoln Riley addressing Rajon and addressing the Shane Lee situation as it relates to them playing running back. Look, they had practice yesterday, and after a practice, he did address that. And coincidentally, we talked about Mason Cobb as well. Um, I said here on the show, especially immediately after the game, I said that Mason Cobb didn't seem to be all the way 100%. He did say he was in shape, but he just said he didn't feel right in the game. He felt like you can kind of tell that Mason wasn't up to par like he normally is. And I said that that doesn't mean that he's a bad player. That just means that hey, it could be an off night. I mean, all of us have off nights. We have off nights in our life as well. You know, just and sometimes we got to get back on. But he knew that, he recognized that. So you can appreciate a guy like that acknowledging that. But when you're talking about Rajon Davis and Shane Lee, I told you guys that last time we seen those two together, which was the Stanford game, those two were paired together, and to me that looked like and Tackett is playing well as well. Coincidentally, he got freshman of the week this past week with having those two big sacks. But I told you as far as the units together, when Shane Lee and Rajon Davis was in there, those two looked good together. They were paired together. I don't know. It just seems like certain groups work together, good together. And Rajon and Shane Lee, for whatever reason, it just seemed like those two were in tune with one another. I think Tackett and Mason worked together. I think Eric Gentry and Mason worked together. I think Eric Gentry and Tackett worked together. But I like the way the unit of Shane Lee and Rajon Davis, they just brought a different athletic approach to that position. You had one being more athletic than the other, Shane Lee being more of a power linebacker, able to stop the run, and then Rajon Davis there to be, kind of the more athletic one, to kind of move sideline to sideline. But I like them two as a pair, and I'm not going to say which one I like more than the other. I just feel like, look, Shane Lee and Rajon just need an opportunity to be in the game, just to see what they can add to it as well. That was kind of my thought process as it relates to that. And Lincoln Riley, he addressed that. I want you guys to take a look at that. Plus, I got a couple of other things, information wise, that I want you guys to take a look at. It's a very, very, very interesting stat as it relates to Washington. I posted on my Instagram and Twitter last night. I want you guys to take a look at that stat, and then also Julian Lewis, USC quarterback commit. He has an outstanding stat as well. I want you guys to take a look at that. So let's take a look at a couple of things real quick. One being Lincoln Riley. Also, Alex Grinch, he addressed the defense. He gave a kind of a baseball analogy when he's talking about the defense. I'll let you guys take a look at that. You guys can tell me what you think about that, how you feeling about that. But let's take a look real quick at some of this information that we heard yesterday. And I want you guys to take a look at a couple of stats. One from Julian Lewis and one from the University of Washington real quick. Let's go. I wanted to address real quick is I seen Barstool put this up, Barstool USC, but it was another site I believe that said this is the first quarterback as a sophomore to be able to do this. But USC commit Julian Lewis up to 18 TDs and 0 INTs on the season. And you see what he says here. Safe to say that the elite QB pipeline is intact. You guys already know Lincoln Riley's had Baker Mayfield. He's at Jalen Hurts, Caleb Williams, all of these guys. And they're absolutely doing a phenomenal job with these quarterbacks, and got another one coming down the pipeline as well. So just wanted to shout him out on that incredible accomplishment. He has continued to do his thing, and look, USC got a good one coming. Shout out to Julian Lewis. Also, I got to address this real quick, and I'll move on to the information from practice yesterday. But, I seen this yesterday, and I put this up on my Twitter. This is what I was referring to. Over 500 yards of offense that Cal put up on Washington. A lot of people are not going to talk about this. They're not going to show you this, but you guys already know I come with the facts. I come with receipts, and we just want to make sure we put this information out. The score, you guys see it 32-59, and 529 yards by Washington, 502 by Cal. Now, there were 3 turnovers. Shout out to my man USC Priority. He talked about something. He mentioned something to me, which was the 3 turnovers that you guys see here. And I watched some of those turnovers. The quarterback for Cal was actually moving out of the pocket, going towards the sideline, and really just kind of a silly throw. If he just put a little bit more air on it, he would have got it all the way out of bounds. That was one of them. But he just kind of did some ill-advised throws like that all day. And as a result, it ended up being turnovers. Those turnovers, when you look at these yards right now, those turnovers could have easily been turned into points. Some people say, oh, they're garbage time. No, I looked at some of those interceptions and some of the turnovers, and it really could have been 59 to 53 point wise when you look at the yardage, because they were moving the ball very, very effective on Washington. You see the time of possession was 29:50, and and I'm saying all this. I'm saying this to say, this is even more so why I believe that Washington should have never jumped us, but that's okay because the jury's out on their defense, and guess what? USC will move the ball on this team. That's all I'm gonna say on that. I need to move on to Lincoln Riley, Alex Grinch, some of the stuff that they had to say about Rajon and Shane Lee. All right, here is Lincoln Riley. He's getting ready to address Rajon and the linebacker position. We told you guys that these guys are a big part of it. I want you guys to take a look at what he said in detail as it relates to rotating 5 guys coming up this weekend.
Obviously, we played those 3 guys, and we honestly intended to play a few more. And then the way the game unfolded, those guys got in a rhythm. Eric was playing. Eric played pretty well. Tackle was extremely productive. It was definitely his best game. We thought he took some steps from kind of being able to catch his breath after the first 3 weeks of the season when it's all coming at you fast. And he took a nice step in the bye week and played well. So I was proud to see that. And Mason did a good job. I mean, we operate typically pretty well when he's in there. He's such a good communicator and knows our stuff so well. Thinks fast on the run. But he's a good player, but he brings a lot of intangible benefits to it too. So, and then, I mean, listen, Rajon, Shane, guys like that are still a big part of what we do. This thing's going to go on and on. There's different things that are going to happen. We're going to need all 5 of those guys to play at a high level. And I mean, 4 games in, you look back on it, they've all 4 had some really nice, all 5 had some really good, bright moments for us.
All right, so that is Lincoln. That is what he had to say as it relates to Rajon and as it relates to Shane Lee. I can expect that these guys will compete, get an opportunity to get in there, get the rotation in. We need those guys. Like I said, they are a big part of the team. And I want you guys to also listen to some of the things that Coach Alex Grinch. He made some comments as it relates to the defense, some schematics. Let's listen to some of the things that Alex Grinch had to say as well. All right, here is Alex Grinch now when he talks about concerns about the defense, any fresh concerns. They get ready to ask him about it, and he's getting ready to address it right now.
The assessment after watching the film, and were there any fresh concerns that you think were? Yeah, I think there's always concerns. I mean, obviously excited to be 4-0. The bulk of the country's not, but in road environment for the first time. But no, there's always concerns, and the concerns are in the school board says 28 at the end of the game, and that's no disrespect to the opponent. I mean, they are trying to win every week, and then I thought saw a lot of stuff, as you go through it, handled a lot. But I'll say this, the most specific to this past weekend, but maybe as a general assessment, is I kind of likened it to a pitcher where you got strikeouts, you don't have many walks, you don't have many runners on base, but your ERA, right? You look up at the end of the game, they still got 4 runs. You say, well, how can it be? Look at my strikeout count. They didn't walk anybody. We didn't have a bunch of big innings, but again, look at the run total at the end of the game. And I don't mean that to deflect. I mean that to really put a spotlight on the fact the chief goal is to keep points off the board. And so, several examples, certainly where we did, and I was disappointed, majorly disappointed, the final touchdown game in the fourth quarter. We got to learn to, as many plays as we made in the fourth, which is a welcome change from some other weeks around here. To have one at the end like that, 4th and 7 was really a disappointment. But no, there's always concerns, but they're weekly concerns. I mean, that play we made, and we made a lot of them. We got to go make it again. We did, and the ones we did, we got to find a way to make them.
And the last thing we want to talk about is, we want to celebrate as well. Big time kick, making a statement, and Lincoln Riley making a statement, the staff making a statement by giving Dennis Lynch a big time scholarship, man. And Lincoln Riley talks about that. He addresses this, that he gives him this scholarship. Listen to what Lincoln Riley had to say.
They erupted. They've seen the way that guy's worked throughout the entire time.
All right, so that is the information. And what we got to realize is this. I heard Lincoln talk about we need all 5 linebackers, which, I agree. I think we're going to need all players on deck, whether it's Rajon, whether it's Mason Cobb, whether it's Tackett Curtis, whether it's Eric Gentry. We need all these guys on deck. I know, a lot of people that haven't been to the Colorado area, the Rocky Mountains, those who even been to Utah, you guys already know. Even in Vegas, I remember just running in Vegas. It's just the altitude, the air is different. When you start going in that higher elevation, I was listening to Mason Cobb yesterday talk about that, and they asked him, has he even prepared for that? He said, I guess they kind of altering his diet or whatever, but I was thinking more so of those guys getting the oxygen mask, that you run with. That's kind of the thing that you want to use when you prepare for that type of altitude, because I'm telling you, right now that guys are not used to that, that's never ran in that. I have. It is just absolutely, it's different. It's different, and you get tired faster. The breathing is a lot harder. So I'm saying that to say that you want all hands on deck. You definitely want it on deck. Just to maybe to keep these guys fresh, especially in this game. You also want the defensive line to be on deck. I want to see a little bit. I want to see Keon Bars. I want to see, of course, Jamil Muhammad. I want to see Ramilo Height. All of these guys, Solomon Byrd. All these guys Dejon Bitten. All these guys rotating out Bear Alexander. You want to see these guys, Jack Sullivan, Tyrone Taleni, Stanley. Every single one of these guys, all the pieces are going to have to be on deck. Even with our defensive backs, our safeties, you just want everybody to be fresh. And not saying that we feel like Colorado poses a big threat. And me and Jay Walk, we will get into this week. We will get in, hopefully Thursday. We will get this preview in. But not to say that Colorado is going to pose a big threat, but I'm saying the same thing that we said with the Arizona State game. We said that Arizona State, we told you guys that the defensive front, if you guys remember, me and Jay Walk and myself, we came on here and we specifically said, look, they have a good defensive line, but the other areas we weren't for sure. But the defense actually plays pretty good. And matter of fact, Arizona State defense is ranked a lot higher right now than where we're at right now, and some other teams at right now. It's just the offense that supposedly kind of struggled. But I'm saying the same thing with Colorado. You cannot take any. This is college football. You can absolutely not take any team for granted and just think you're gonna go in there and any team is gonna lay down. Especially when you're talking about Coach Prime. I heard they having all of. I read somewhere they having the rapper Jay-Z there, and just they had Lil Wayne there last week, and they got all kind of things getting ready to take place. The sideline is probably gonna be packed, just like the way USC is with the superstars. We got USC stars and celebrities flying down there, and then you couple that with the guys that Coach Prime has with the superstars and celebrities flying down there. It's going to be a lot of pressure on these guys. It's going to be a lot of star power in the city. The stadium is going to be jam packed. I heard yesterday rather, that the tickets were already going for like $1,000, $1,000 for a seat. I mean, I don't know if that's nosebleed or what, but everybody is trying to get to this game right now. I don't think a lot of people realize the significance and how much star power is getting ready to be at this game. It's about to be go time. It's about to be on and popping. It's about to be on and cracking. All hands need to be on deck. USC has really got to really lock in and stay focused and don't get caught up, don't get lost in the sauce as it relates to all this star power, because it will be there. And USC has to stay focused. The coaching staff has to stay focused. The players have to be focused. The rotation has to be on and popping, on and cracking, given the altitude. So that's what I got for you today, man. Like I said, we will come back with the full preview of Colorado. And I'm not sure. I heard that possibly Shedeur Sanders may be hurt. We already know that Travis Hunter's hurt, so we got to take a look at that. I just read today where Shedeur Sanders had to actually go. He might have been urinating blood, given a shot, and I think he didn't find that out until after he made it back. So look, he went to the hospital for that, from my understanding. So the jury's still out on all this. We have to see. We will have all that information, concrete information, when the preview comes on Thursday. So look, until later on, everybody stay blessed. Fight on, fight on, fight on.